Peace, Stop the Violence, and a number of other community organizations to celebrate this opportunity to make a real difference in our community. So often there's a lot of conversation that goes on about how we do things. But it is through the work of these people that you see here before us that we are bringing real meat to the table. This is not conversation. These are real dollars that are going to make a difference in the lives of people throughout this community and communities like it here in the state of California. So again, I welcome you, and I encourage you all to let everyone know about these opportunities, because life is going to drastically improve because of the work of these great people. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Stop the Violence and Increase the Peace Foundation, the Regional Funding Sustainability Initiative, and all of these agencies and schools and families and mothers and therapists and folks here who've been doing work, we would like to collectively, right now, hold that sign up, give a hand to Assembly Member Reginald Jones-Sawyer, please. I'm making this happen for the community. Let me hear you. All right, come on, man. Not every day we get $37.3 million to support this work. So we want to thank him today, and we want to thank all of the people here, including the young people, who are out advocating for peace in our community. I want to say something that is really, really important to me personally. There are mothers and fathers here, including some of our own elected officials, who have lost children to senseless violence in this community. This money is a direct response to that pain, a direct response to the pain. So I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you've done and you continue to do. I also want to acknowledge a few people. As was said, much has been said about the NFL. Today we have members of the NFL here with us. We have Jonathan Franklin, who is community engagement for the Los Angeles Rams here. We have a number of other Rams players that are on their way. Thank you so much. We have Dwayne Frampton from Frampton. We have sports figures, we have entertainers, we have folks who are vested in this community. They're vested in this community, man, and that's a blessing. So I don't want to take a long time, but I do want to say, listen, this is an opportunity for all of us to come together. If you need information about this particular coalition, you can call Stop the Violence, Increase the Peace Foundation, 323-777-4893. That's 323-777-4893. We'll definitely direct you to the Assembly Member's office and the rest of the coalition that's kind of working on this particular bill. So right now I want to turn it over to our moderator, our campaigner, Sister Kenyatta, please. Thank you.
Greetings everyone, I'm Kenyatta, the Care All Good, and I'm your moderator for today. And this is a very, very glorious day, and I'm grateful for this day. I'm a member of Black Lives Matter, as well as an educator, and also born and raised in Los Angeles and South Central Los Angeles. So today, we want to make sure that everyone here is able to partner with us in this field, in this grant. So we want to also call people up and let them take a moment to give a couple of minutes of who they are and how they will partner with us with this bill. But before that, I'd like to just do an overview of what our mission statement is and what our goals are going to be. We spoke about it in our private meeting, but we want to talk about it out here. Our mission statement, the mission of the Regional Funding Sustainability Initiative is to assess undiagnosed injury and trauma and its impact on youth at risk, to promote and sustain best practices that prevent youthful population from entering the criminal justice system. We know that there are 2.3 million black folks that are in the criminal justice system right now, and we want to counteract that with this, hopefully with this grant. The goal of this initiative is three main objectives. Interagency capacity building. You see that right here. This is interagency capacity building. All of these organizations, 60 plus organizations coming together with being authentic and true to what they already do. We're going to enhance that with this money, hopefully. Service and data tracking. So we know that we're going to take the data and statistics of data of these programs, and we're going to combine them, and we're going to make sure we eliminate the causes of violence and trauma, right? And the overt and micro acts of daily aggression and over-policing. Lastly, we will have media literacy and social and community outreach. So today we have media here, right? And we will extend that with digital, radio, and TV and other entertainment options as well. So before I end, I just wanted to say thank you again for all of you coming today and participating. This is a glorious day, and we will forever hold this day, and hopefully this will extend to generations. So I would like to introduce the Assembly Member Reginald Jones-Sawyer, who actually put this bill together. And I'm going to speak a couple of words, and then we'll introduce other folks. Thank you.
So I'm probably the one to say how all this came together. And I've been working on this since I was elected in 2012. In 2012, I was put on Public Safety Committee. In 2014, I became chair of Public Safety. And quite frankly, I visited more prisons than I ever wanted to my entire life, one. And when I first got elected in 2012, every private prison in California came to my office and told me they needed 10,000 more prison beds over the next 10 years. I asked them how were they able to determine that? And they told me by the number of children that can't read at third grade level. And being from South LA, I said, why don't we educate those kids so we can determine how many more colleges we need to build in the next 10 years. After that, I had the pleasure of meeting a young man that just got out of prison. He had served 2 years in juvenile facilities, 2 years in prison. And when I asked him why did he go to prison, he said it because he was hungry. I said, that doesn't sound right. He said his mother was on drugs, father in prison, brother and sisters were in gangs selling drugs, hadn't eaten in a week. Someone gave him $5 so he could go to Taco Bell. He gets to class, you know how junior high school students are. They started making fun of him because his stomach was growling so hard and so loud that the whole class was making fun of him. He gets to Taco Bell, he's getting ready to grab his burrito, and a hand comes over to grab him. You know what we do when somebody grabs your food, you fight him back. Well, he hit an LAPD officer in the face. They threw the book at him. One, because he had no support system. And I said, brother, you seem like you experienced post-traumatic stress disorder from what you did before you went to prison, when you were in juvenile, when you were in prison, and now you're back out on the street, not being able to get a job, housing. And he said, no, brother, I experienced post-traumatic street disorder. Because what goes on in the street, a lot of times what is much worse than what goes on in Iraq, Afghanistan, and other places of war. And it brought to my mind that these kids are traumatized. These kids in our street in LA and other places in California are traumatized. And we need to marshal our resources to provide them psychiatrists, social workers, community groups that will help them get their mental state together. What would have happened if someone had taken that young man, instead of to jail in the lockup, they sent him to a nonprofit where he'd gotten a hug and asked him, what were you thinking? Why did you do that? I think everybody would have come together and found food and assistance and help for that young man who mentally was really in a bad place and ultimately leads him to the school to prison pipeline. I've been asking for this money for 6 years. Last year, I came this close to getting the money, and the bureaucrats in Sacramento and the lawyers in Sacramento told me they couldn't give money to African American, Latino, API, and Native American because that was racist because of Prop 209. I said some words that I can't say in front of cameras and young people right now. But they knew that I was really upset. So last year, they came to me and said, what do you need, Assemblyman? And I told them what I needed, I told them when I needed, and how I wanted it distributed. And so I am working right now, one, to make sure that that money is drawn down so we can get to the community. Two, we're gonna make sure that 90% of that money goes to nonprofits and not to city, not to law enforcement, not to bureaucrats, but it actually gets out to the community that it deserves. I used to be a bureaucrat. I know what we do. I'm a recovering bureaucrat. We need to make sure that most of that money gets there, and I'm going to encourage that whoever distributes the money only gets 10% for administrative fees. You know, we got to pay people to get the money out on the street. And then secondly, making sure they know what community groups need to get it. The last thing I'm going to leave you with, and this is why this is so important right now to get the word out. The thing that I'm worried about more than anything else is that we get this money out on the street and nobody applies. Let me say that one more time. That we get this money out on the street and nobody applies. Let me tell you, I can't guarantee you that you're going to get any of this money, but I can give you a 100% chance that if you don't apply, you won't get any of this money.
Yes.
I need everyone in our battle to close the school-to-prison pipeline. It's my hope that this $37 million will shrink and shrink that school-to-prison pipeline to where there is no pipeline. My job is to eliminate the pipeline to prison. My job is to get our people into jobs, into education, and that one day, all of them are making $100,000 a year, and that every parent in South LA can retire. Okay? Are you all with me? Yes. All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Assembly Member Sawyer. I appreciate you. Next, we're going to introduce Jonathan Franklin, who's of the LA Rams, the NFL front office, and he's going to speak a couple of words of how he's partnering with us.
Exciting moments right now, especially to solely focus on our youth and ultimately the future leaders of our society. Our organization can't thank the community leaders enough for being out here and standing together, because it's power and unity within this community. Just have to acknowledge our two started Rams quarterbacks out here, Marcus Peters and Akeem Talib, to really being here to just showing the power that they have. Using their influence, the passions through their philanthropic efforts. We're really standing here to validate that there is power in just role models and love beyond just being an athlete. That they can be happy and successful, and there is an answer that goes beyond these streets. So I just can't thank them enough for just embodying what a role model looks like, and giving them something that the youth can connect with and aspire to be one day beyond just a football field. In regards to our organization, we're excited to be here because we believe that there is power in being back in Los Angeles, to reassure that everyone in this community can rise to prosperity, but also provide hope where it doesn't exist and maintain it where it does. To stand with you all to redefine that word community, that if you see something, say something, redefine the word love, that we can all stand together and empower one another to be better and do better, that we can stand together and become something. We've been doing a lot of work in regards to the Ventura Correctional Facility. Every time as we speak to these young men and women that are 18 and 24 years old, we realize all they needed was a little more love, just some more support systems. We believe that these finances, these nonprofits will be what these youth needs now. That we can move forward and forget the pain of the past and look forward to the hopes and joys of the future. Personally, I stand here with two cousins on November 17th that was murdered due to gun violence. For me, as much as it hurts and pains my family, we realize we can't move forward in that anymore. That we have to stand together as a community and love one another and stand together. That is power beyond what we see. Yes, sir. But it is power in believing, and it's power in unity. So the Rams are excited to be here, to be a resource, to stand and change this community. Excited to be here with Marcus, excited to be here with Akeem, and Let's all do this together and really change the landscape of Los Angeles. Go Rams, thank you all so much.
Thank you so much, Jonathan Franklin, and sharing with the LA Rams this time of change. Next, I'm going to have Khalid Shaw come up.
Okay, how we doing?